Welcome to the Black Girls Heal podcast, where we talk about changing unavailable relationship patterns, healing unresolved trauma, and building a healthy relationship with first you and then others. Every episode, we will talk about actionable advice that you can apply today to break unhealthy patterns and grow your self-worth. I'm Sheena Tubbs. Let's begin. What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the latest episode of Black Girls Heal. It is a lovely day where I am in Houston, Texas. I hope that is lovely for you as well. If it's cold, I hope you're staying warm. If it's rainy, I hope you're staying dry. If it's rainy and you love the rain, I hope you're getting your whole entire life right now and feeling the calm and the peace because you deserve it. And if it's sunny, I hope you're getting that vitamin D. So this episode is going to be so great. There are so many of my ladies who are listeners and followers of this podcast, but you are currently in a healthy relationship. You're actually in a thriving partnership, and you are finding that the only issue is your own internal stuff, and you are hitting against your own walls. And so if that is the case, this episode is for you to learn how to let go. One of the things I did a couple survey earlier this year where I surveyed my audience, you guys, you ladies who are currently in partnerships about what are the things that you want to learn more about. And you told me that it's learning how to let go and let your walls down and be more of yourself when you're in a committed, healthy partnership. In case you're a new follower, I want you to know that this podcast is for a special type of woman. I know women across the spectrum who are securely attached, insecurely attached, who just value mental health listen to this podcast. But this podcast is specifically for women who struggle with being vulnerable and letting other people in. And this is the problem that you have across the board. Not just sometimes, not just every once in a while, but this is a reoccurring issue that you have. And the reason why I want to make that clarification is because ladies who have this particular type of issue, we approach relationships differently. We see the world differently. And the reoccurring problem that we have is that we get advice from other people who are healthier, people who tend to have thriving relationships, who don't self-sabotage, who have a healthier sense of self. Of course, not perfect. We all have our insecurities, but we give advice from people who don't have these type of problems, and we can feel a lot of shame. We can feel a lot of embarrassment because our friends may give advice that may be loving, but also matter of fact. We may have shame because we may understand that we should be able to do these things logically, but we still run across these same issues even when we try to apply it. As a result, we feel broken. We feel like we're failures. We feel like, what is wrong with me? Why can't get it? And I made this podcast specifically for these women so that you will know that there is nothing wrong with you, that you are not the one person in the group that's never going to get it, who is perpetually flawed. You had a certain type of upbringing, a certain type of wounding that just settled in a certain way. And that is by no fault of your own. And you can absolutely heal it. You can absolutely learn a different way of doing relationships and thinking about yourself and showing up in the world. But at the end of the day, I just want you to know that you are not alone. Okay? And everybody else who is listening and benefiting from this advice, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. But there may be some things that apply to you, and there may be some things that don't apply to you, and that's perfectly fine. But those who need it, take what you need and leave the rest. I have 3 announcements for you. The Recovery School opened its doors last week. So if you're interested in joining our program to help those of us who have that special set of issues heal, you can go to therecoveryschool.com and get started. And the Recovery School is the full website. The is a part of it, so that you don't go to recoveryschool.com and not be able to find us. Also, there's something I have to share with you that I've actually been slipping on. So some of you have kind of found it on your own, but I've been getting a lot of submissions lately from ladies who would like to sponsor a podcast episode or be featured on our social media account for Black Girls Heal. So we do accept advertising and sponsorship. The only thing is, I am only interested in having people sponsor podcast episodes who I think would be good fits, that I think our audience would benefit from. Only things that I would personally use myself, or even if I wouldn't use myself, that I know other people would use. Things that I think would uplift our audience and won't directly contradict the things that we teach here or just add a lot of confusion. So if you are a business owner and you would love to get your product or your event or your brand in front of the Black Girls Heal audience, you can absolutely do so. You can go to blackgirlsheal.org/advertise, or just go to blackgirlsheal.org and scroll to the bottom. And there is a link that says advertisement. And you can click on there and you can go ahead and apply. And if we think you're a good fit, then we will go ahead and get you set up. So you may be hearing from some other Black women business owners. You may be hearing from some companies and maybe major brands going forward. But just want to let you know that that opportunity is available. And to thank you for those ladies who have already applied without me even sharing that. And if you're a great fit, I look forward to having you in front of our audience. But I do have some really good news for many of you. Some really, really good news. Some very exciting news. So I get a lot of positive feedback about the podcast. I get a lot of positive feedback that a lot of you feel like I'm talking directly to you, that the episodes are personally made for you, and you just can't wait until the next week that you share the episodes with other people, and you'll even replay some of the episodes depending on the topic. And for those of you that applies to, and you have been wanting to work deeper together, I have something for you that is not one of our programs. I have actually started a Black Girls Heal Patreon account. And if you don't know what a Patreon account is, it is a membership option where people who really love a person or a content creator or a program can become a member or a patron, and then get special benefits and perks as a result of being a part of this membership. And so our membership is going to be called the Healing Circle. So you would become a part of the Black Girls Heal Healing Circle. Special benefits and perks of being a member of our Patreon account, our Healing Circle, is that you will get access to bonus podcast episodes that will not be shared here on the podcast. You will be able to have first access to register for live events. I do have several live events coming up for you to participate in, where we will get to meet face to face and go deeper together. You will get first access to new freebies and resources, a special welcome gift. And these are the ones that I know a lot of people will be interested in. Every month, I will raffle off an opportunity to have a free coaching call to all the members. There is also an opportunity to win a full scholarship to the recovery school based on our members within. And even if you do not win the scholarship, by being a part of the Healing Circle, you have access to a discount to the recovery school. And then even if you don't win any of those things, you still have access to book a quick question call. One thing I often get, and I mentioned this in a previous podcast episode, is people like, I just have a quick question. Like, I got my support system. I understand what I'm doing. I just have one question for you. I really don't need everything else. I just need some of your time. Well, okay, great. So you will have an opportunity to just ask me that quick question one-on-one, and you can book that time, but only by being a part of the Healing Circle. The really great part about this is it is under $20 a month. So I wanted to make sure that I had something that was accessible to people. I literally got an email from someone today who was like, "Do you offer scholarships?" And I am a firm believer that you have to invest in yourself. And I've had women of literally all economic status invest in our programs. And I also understand, as being someone who came up working class and poor and struggling and watching my mother make under $15,000 a year, raising 3 children, like I understand that. I understand people can only do what they can at different points. So this opportunity should be accessible to everyone. And if you still got excuses, then I don't know what to tell you. But that is there for you. I would love to support you in our healing circle. The first bonus episode is already there. So I often actually record bonus episodes here myself. I'll get inspired. I'll have a conversation with a student or a client. I'll have a conversation with someone in my own personal life. I'll watch something and I'm like, women need to know not to do this. And I'll just record episodes that aren't actually on the schedule. And so I find myself like, okay, well, I have to wait until there's an opportunity to put this out. And with this, I don't have to do that anymore. So the bonus episode that's there right now is about whether or not you are an entertainment to someone or a distraction. And I go through what that means because I had a conversation with someone who's pretty close to me very recently, and they were going down this path to where they were about to be somebody's entertainment, and I had to get her back on the right path. And I want to share what I'd shared with her with you in case it will help. I have another bonus episode where I am recapping and breaking down the show Love is Blind on Netflix. So if you are a fan on that show, you need to become a Healing Circle member because I am going in on it and breaking down all the relationships, and we can talk about it. What I love about Patreon is under each account, you can still write comments and everything. And so we can totally be going back and forth about what we're seeing and what we're observing. And also because this is for those of us who need to repair a relationship within ourselves, there's also a bonus episode talking about if you're struggling with self-hate as a Black person, and or if you are struggling with hate of other Black people or distrust of Black people or whatever it might be. I have some thoughts to share with you about that. So you can go ahead and join by going to blackgirlsheal.org/circle. Again, it's blackgirlsheal.org/circle. And I look forward to seeing you there. All right, boos, let's jump into this podcast episode. Let's see if I can get it under 25 minutes today so folks can have their time to catch up on other podcast episodes. I don't know if anyone's like me, but my queue is to the brim. And at this point, even my favorite episodes, I'm like, my favorite podcasts, I'm like, let me see how long this episode is. And so I will pick and choose which ones have the shortest time periods to make sure I can listen to them most in the time I have allotted. So I'm using up time right now, but let's see if I can get this short for those of you who may be needing a little short podcast. So how to connect or how to let go of the fear of connecting to someone else. So 3 steps for you. I like to give my 3 steps. 3 steps for you. The first one is you need to be clear about what your fear is. Oftentimes we have that fear of letting go and connecting because we are afraid that someone's going to take from us. They're going to take our dignity. They are going to take our freedom. They are going to take our voice. They're going to take our power. They're going to take our body, because we've had someone who has taken our dignity before and humiliated us and made us feel really low. We've had someone who has taken our voice before and maybe used it against us or not listened to us and dismissed us. We've had someone who has taken our body and used it for their own pleasure or enjoyment, or shamed us, or used us for their own entertainment and humiliation. They've taken our power away and we've not been able to make our own decisions, and we've felt stuck. Any of those, all of those things, we may have experienced before. And so we are used to, when we get close to people, that is what's going to happen. And so we have this fear that love and intimacy will take, even though in our logical mind, we may know that this person or what's happening is not love. So with someone who's toxic, and this person who is nicer to me, may actually be trying to love me, it still doesn't compute. It's still hard to believe because we still have that fear underneath. And so what we need to understand is that healthy love constantly gives. We are to let go of that fear of connecting. We have to focus on what this relationship is actually giving us, and also delineate and differentiate what is unhealthy versus what is healthy. So, and the messages that I got in the surveys from women who took the survey on coupleship, which, by the way, if you are on my mailing list, if I ever ask you to fill something out and you are a fan or a follower of this podcast, you should really take advantage of it. I had a really great number of responses, but I just want you to know that I really do read every response, every message, every email. It is me personally. Not a team member, not anyone else. And so if you really want to make sure that I'm helping you and supporting you, take advantage of those opportunities to be in contact with me. If I say reply at the bottom of an email, reply. Even if I don't immediately respond, I've read it and I'm taking it into account. So anyways, slight tangent. We need to understand that healthy love gives to us. And so that goes into the second thing that you need to do. The first thing is you need to be clear about what your fear is. What are you afraid that they're going to take from you? The second thing is to switch your focus from the fear to what this relationship is giving to you. What are you gaining from it? Are you gaining validation from this person? Are you gaining this person saying, it's okay, I'm here, I can listen to you? Are you gaining this person who's making themselves available to do chores for you or to go grab something from the store for you? Is this person offering to help you with things and you are saying no because of the fear before? I want you to focus on what you are gaining. Whatever we focus on expands and grows. This is something that I am working on growing and teaching myself so that I can in turn teach my clients and my students more about manifestation and mindset. But if you focus on all the things that this person can take from you and all the things that you're going to lose, that's what's going to expand in your relationship. That fear is going to continue to grow, is going to become bigger and bigger and bigger to where him or her, he or she won't be able to surmount this fantasy wall and blockage that you've created, right? Because it's not based on fact. It's based on fear of ghosts that are no longer in your life and no longer a part of your relationship. So if you want to feed the right thing, you gotta feed the growth and what you're gaining and focus on those things, okay? So that's the second thing. The third thing you need to do is to be clear on who you are in the first place. So I'm saying this because a lot of the responses, not all of them, some of them were people who, well, this actually could still be the case, but a lot of my responses were women who had a long history of unhealthy, avoidant relationships, and now they were with a partner that was the most truly emotionally available. And this could be, some of them, they had already been doing their personal work and found this person. Some of them hadn't started their personal work yet, but they happened upon this relationship and they were really trying to take ownership of their part so they don't put these walls up. And my statement for those of you who this is like your first go round into a healthy partnership, I want to suggest to you or ask you, are you clear with who you are in the first place? Because if your fear is that you are going to lose yourself, have you ever had an opportunity to fully explore who you are, what that means to you, what you like, what you don't like, and have your opinion and have your strength and have your pet peeves and have the way that you like to communicate. Do you know the things that you like to do for fun, the things that the ways you like to be treated? Or have some of you been so used to kind of going along in these other relationships that you're just now discovering yourself? And so if the fear is that you are afraid that you're going to lose the space to discover who you are, then that needs to be communicated to your partner. And also, you have to be able to start that journey yourself, because otherwise you're going to run the risk of repeating what may have been a pattern for you before. Now that you've met someone who's nice and healthy and open, you just completely relax who you are, become needless and wantless, and try to depend on them to be your parent, to be everything for you, to be your mini God in a way. And that's a dangerous place to be. And so I know some women in the survey were like, I've worked really hard on my personal work and I'm so afraid of losing myself. Again, going back to point number 2, healthy love gives. Healthy love does not take. Healthy love will only expand who you are, right? And so that's just the truth of the situation. You'll only become more of who God has intended for you to be. When you have someone who offers you space and is emotionally available and healing. Remember, healthy relationship and healthy love returns us to God, returns us at the end of life to the universe, whatever your belief is, in a better version than how we came into. It is healing. And so that is what you're looking for. And if that is not the case with the relationship that you're in, that is a red flag for you to pay attention to. Do not try to explain it with, oh, he's just so busy at work, or there was this one time he was really nice, or that she's just, dealing with a lot with her mom and going through a lot of grief. Okay, if that is truly a one-time thing, you can be honest and give grace. But if there's always an excuse, my dear, I need you to be honest with what's actually going on. So wherever you are in this process, I understand that, me telling you, pay attention to the things that grow, pay attention to the gain, put that fear down, focus on you, grow you, is easier said than done. These are exactly the things that I work through with students in the recovery school. Forever access to all of the programs. I started off, I'm going to do the membership, and then I was like, I want ladies to always have access to this. I thought about the programs that I've purchased before, and no, I want you to always be able to come back to this 5 years from now, 10 years from now. As long as this website is up, I want you to be able to do it. So forever access, but for some of you that doesn't mean anything to you. The way that this will benefit you is that you will be able to learn tools to actively get through that fear and anxiety in the moment. So when you're right there talking to your partner and you are triggered and upset and you're like, I know you're saying nice things to me and I don't know how to handle it and I just want to run, I teach you how to get through that in the moment. I teach you how to fully connect to your partner without being avoidant, without getting afraid, learning how to balance fully having your own opinions, hobbies, life. I'm a new mother, so I get to share with you what I'm learning about balancing being a mother as well, but be fully connected in these partnerships without losing you. So if that is interesting to you, if you are ready to make that next step and get started, you can go to therecoveryschool.com and join me there. And join the many other women who've made an incredible transformation almost immediately and definitely within the few months that they've been a member. So that is it for this episode. Yay, before 25 minutes. I got it. I hope y'all have a great weekend. Join me in the Healing Circle by going to blackgirlsheal.org/circle. If you join the recovery school, you automatically get full membership into the Healing Circle as part of joining. So you don't have to make a decision. I got you either way. So that's it for this episode. I will see you next week or in a couple of minutes if you join the Healing Circle. But that's it. Take care of yourselves.